All right. Well, hey, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Please raise your hand if you can see us. Joan, I see you on with a raised hand. Want to make sure that we have everybody in the room and able to hear us. If you cannot hear us, please give us a chat. That would be fantastic. I do see some chats coming in. Wonderful. So, Jason
Morning,
Howes,
Paul.
we're excited today. We get to talk about some Content Hub, and why don't you lay out the agenda for us, my man?
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, everyone. Look, today, I was looking forward to this one because it's about making sure that sales and marketing are aligned. Very important part of business that tends to be not perfect. Even, like I think most companies would suggest that their sales team and their marketing teams do struggle at times to support each other and work in the same line, and it's really important to do that. And so today, we're going to cover off some key areas that enable you to be able to make a difference in the marketing activity that you're doing within your business. It's really important to make sure that everyone has a strategy and a plan to follow. And not only that, but as you know, salespeople are very busy. So it gives us the opportunity to provide them with some really good effectiveness tools as well to be able to support them to create and win more new business opportunities, Paul.
And let me ask you real quick, Jason, what is this? There's an age-old barrier sometimes that we talk between sales and marketing, and how do we get that? How do we remove it, do you think?
Look, Paul, interesting question. From my experience and from what I've seen, I think best practice is to have marketing actually reporting to sales. That way it's more of a team. It's not a two-sided event. I think it's so important that marketing, professionals these days are able to be very involved with what's happening in the sales team, because it is, as sales professionals, you want to be able to have leads coming into your business, and you want to make sure that they're qualified as well. And you really, again, getting back to that effectiveness area, like it needs to help and support salespeople to be good at what they do. And I think from a consumer point of view and a end user point of view, you really want to make sure your language is very outcome focused and not just company and product specific languaging in all your marketing information.
Yeah, that's fantastic. One of the things that I've noticed is the shift towards both reporting into this idea of revenue, right? So having at least one leader and being able to have a revenue leader, so there you have a much more combined team, much more combined goal across all elements of the marketing creation, as well as the sales leads. So we're going to get into one specific part of that today, which is really how marketing enables sales through content, through templates, through information, through training and language, and doing that through a system. Is that correct?
Absolutely, Paul. I think it's great to have a tool that, and I think the other day we were talking about this as well. There's a lot of companies that have a lot of different technology and a lot of subscriptions these days. It's very costly. If you actually, we've got a client we're working with at the moment. I always use him as an example. He's got a list of all the subscriptions he was paying, and it was well between sort of $500 to $1,000 a month. So being able to really understand where he was using, which ones he was using and why he was using them, we're able to actually remove a lot of those and bring them back into one platform that actually makes it so much easier for your sales team to operate through.
Excellent. And I am sharing, and people that have been on the webinars before will notice this. This is the Membrain. This is membrain.com, and this is a demo system. But one of the things we're going to focus really on today is how this is helping to solve that sales marketing divide, and how to empower salespeople, how to help marketing understand the impact they're making, and then also to how to empower salespeople with the content that they need to make a difference in the market. So you had a couple of main points you wanted to dive into around the system, Jason, and why don't you do that, and I'll work us around.
Sure, Paul. Yeah, we do want to keep an eye on the time today as well. So I'm not sure whether you can make that any larger, that screen, or not. We've got a bit of a snapshot of that there. So what we're looking at is being able to have a playbook as well, where we can actually go in and look at which content is actually working the best, and having like a structured, again, sales and marketing alignment of what content can actually generate interest. So what's important to your clients or your prospects? We really want to make sure that we can actually speak the right language and have that right targeted approach. And as you know, the beauty of being able to look at the analytics of, okay, this is the content we've been sharing, and this is how it's been performing. So what Paul's in here is in a cadence of how we can actually lead in an opportunity, and then be able to look at how we actually use that in helping salespeople progress opportunities through the pipeline. And I think most people have had, discussions previously where, it can take up to sort of 8 to 12 to 15 steps in some situation, where a lot of traditional sales people have sort of tried to move someone from hello, how are you, let's close straight away. So this is a different type of way to softly build that relationship early on by becoming that trusted advisor. So Paul, whereabouts are you? You're in a
Yeah. So
prospecting cadence here.
Yeah, I'll walk you through. This is a prospecting cadence, and I built 3 different areas where we could show where content is leveraged and how it's leveraged. So for example, prospecting is a role in the sales department. It's something that we do all the time. But having marketing be able to arm us with very specific things in terms of like case studies, videos, other things that we have directly in that, and be able to manage that as Jason was saying, and understanding what gets engaged with. So being able to look at the salespeople as they're sending things out, understand who is viewing, who's connecting with it based on where the shared content was and how they do it, and be able to report on that is really critical. So marketing, from marketing's perspective, they can come in here, and it's a very easy thing. So we have a lot of different things that they could do with this. But how our team does this and how we advise is there is what we call collateral and then enablement content. So collateral is things that marketing creates to help sales at a specific spot within the pipeline or the prospecting cadence, or even account or growing their accounts, right? So being able to understand what that content is, and then be able to put that content where exactly it should be used in the cadence of the sales is really, really powerful. So for example, if somebody is going along, and let's say we engage this customer and we qualify them, through to a sales project, and we have a sales project, and we want to be able to sales wants to have some training in there, and so that could be a part of the content, and it can dive right in here. So what is the definition of an exploration call? What are the guidelines, etc.? And then if we want to, let's say, create an email template that we send out directly out because of that, right, but behind that, here's something like this. We have, I'm sending Jason an email. Let's say it was for G2, and all of the recommended Membrain content is right here. We can absolutely put that in. And I'm going to put this right in here and send that out. If I wanted to do it as a template, let's say, Jason, you've been on the podcast. Let's say if I want to send that out as a template, to be able to create that and have marketing put that in here that has very specific documentation, etc., and be able to allow them to do that. So it's a really good way throughout each part of the sales cycle to understand exactly what's being sent out, how it's being sent out, where it's being sent out, and if it's being leveraged in that sales cycle. Does that make sense, Jason?
Paul, great example, Paul. And I actually sort of revert this back to onboarding a new salesperson. We all know how difficult that is, and I get this most days of the week. So if you're able to provide a platform with all the information that your salespeople need to be successful, you can actually focus on training, onboarding your salespeople with your business and your systems and how you work and all that sort of stuff. But as far as a process point of view, that's what I love about sales enablement and Membrain is that it actually helps your salespeople sell. So it's like going 10-pin bowling. I've used this many times before. As a kid, you got the barriers on the side, so your ball keeps going forward. And then go a step further. If you're really little, you get the little roll down thing where it sort of sends the ball down, and it's great fun. So I think from an enablement point of view, and as you know yourself, it's one of the biggest challenges we find with new salespeople is getting them to talk the right language. And even with existing salespeople, when we do our evaluations, we line up 10 people, they all pretty well say a different thing about what your company does and how it helps their clients succeed. So it's really important to have a platform that salespeople can follow. And if you look at it from an effectiveness point of view, Paul, I love what you showed before, is that where you can just click on an email or template and it's like, new inquiry, or it's like new product inquiry or whatever. Your salespeople don't have to sit there for half an hour writing something that, without disrespect, probably isn't what you really want them to say. So again, this is about, if you can get a lot more effective in what you do. And I think the other area, Paul, you showed, and I wouldn't mind just if you went back into Content Hub just for a second, please, is the other area we find really great for businesses that we work with is the fact that you can have all your price lists and all your data sheets and all your own content in Content Hub. That way you don't have to have Dropbox or Drive or whatever it is. You've got all these additional subscriptions that you're having to chop and change and get all the information. And not only that, but you've also got a really good mobile app as well. If someone asks you about something, you're like, yeah, sure, I'll share it with you. But not only are you sharing with the prospect or the client, you're actually seeing when they open it, or if they share it, or if they looked at it. And these are the great areas that then really supports marketing to go, okay, this is what's working. We need to do more of it.
Yeah, let me give you one quick example of this here and how a lot of this works. And this is just one way to do it. So this is a podcast. It's a link that we have here. It's a piece that we've created in the Content Hub to be able to send out, right? So if I have this 5 common challenges podcast, and I know that it's going to be really helpful for somebody that's in the prospecting, right? And I want to add that. So I can actually add context to it here where it would show up. So I am using the prospect engagement playbook, and let's say I have 2 outbound prospecting things where it will show up. And let's say I want to add another context here that we'll just say this does a really good job of focusing on financial hurdles, right? And so what we have here is these are contexts that you set, and that allows those contexts. This content gets immediately recommended to the salesperson in that context, so they can leverage it in that context. So I can go back to this prospecting, and if I am doing any sort of personalized introduction, if I'm sending an email or creating a note around this or making a call, it will give me on the side here that recommended content in the context of that process that I'm doing it in, or even in the context of the step that I'm doing it in as well. So it's one of those things that really helps salespeople use the information where they are. It also helps marketing identify exactly where this is built for, what spot of the funnel, whether it's in prospecting, whether they should be using it in, all the way down on their growing accounts. And then, like you said, is understanding exactly how that content is used and being able to audit the use of it through reporting.
Yeah, one good example, Paul, was recently I had some opportunities in my pipeline. They weren't moving, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what can I actually share with them to actually prompt them to remember me, but also to provide some value for them. So I actually did share some material, and actually 2 out of 20 reached back out, and they're like, oh, I'm really sorry. I found that really helpful. I did mean to actually get back to you. I apologize. Can we organize a meeting? So again, I think if you look at it from sharing value and actually not just sending an email written by someone that, and not being disrespectful, but it could be like, hey, I'm just checking in, how you going? Well, that doesn't help. You know what I mean? If you can actually share something with them of value, and then to so they actually go, oh, that's right, Jason is there and he wants to help us. So it's about actually providing the value and actually helping that opportunity get moving again. Because one of the biggest challenges with salespeople is that that it tends to be a one or two stop approach and then you give up. So again, but with a lot of these opportunities these days, you need to be able to not rush in to present. You need to be able to build that relationship to a point. But again, we also need to understand what is important for our prospects and what content, we should be sharing. And I think I like how you showed when you're writing that email, it'll actually offer salespeople some suggestions on what to share.
And I'll add this here. Let's say you had decided to make that call to everybody in the, say, execute stage of your pipeline just to connect, and you had a new offer or something along those lines that we're using. This is another nice way of doing that, right? So marketing can help write scripts and different things and give bullet points. And so it's and then it will come up within the context, right, of that sale. So phone call script one it comes up in the context of executing, right? Or if we wanted to, again, you're right. So I have trouble demoing emails to send out of here because the email isn't set up on this, but you could literally send different templates along the way with different content directly from the hub. And like I said, all of that has sharing insights that are connected to it. So you know exactly who's sharing, exactly how much is sharing, and what is effective.
That's a good example, Paul. I appreciate you showing me. I think, again, it's if your business is using a CRM at the moment that's not generating value for your team and they're refusing to use it, we'd be happy to have a discussion and be able to show you more about how Membrain works and how we help our clients to be able to build those high performance sales teams. I love the fact of automation and effectiveness. It's got to be, again, if you've got 10 salespeople writing their own emails all the time, just by saving that valuable time, because it can get comfortable to write an email as well. So I think, best practice is to really dive deep and understand the analytics and see who's opening and closing and looking at links and all those sort of things, because that's them putting their hand up in the air and going, I'm actually interested in what you're talking about here.
Yeah, and I'll share one more thing as we wrap up, but not just having templates, but having something that we call snippets in the Content Hub and being able to show where those are used in different emails. So if you have like different phraseology that you want to put, like you understand that somebody has it's a product description snippet, right? So it can be a small paragraph. You just pop that in the email. You're writing an email. You're like, oh, I need that different snippet. Just pull it in. Those can be recommended and popped in into your right in there as well. So it saves a lot of time, a lot of efficiency, and it keeps people on brand. But it also, everybody knows where things exist. So I know a big problem in that sales marketing divide is simply a lot of times they use systems that don't allow them to put stuff in one place, categorize it well, and then get it out and use it for a purpose that it's meant to be used. So that's the goal here.
Absolutely. No, Paul, look, I mean, again, the idea of today was just to share some ways that you can align sales and marketing, also ways that you can be more effective with your team, and also to be able to ensure your team is using the right tools and saying the right messages. Because in theory, I mean, we hand a lot over. It's not unusual that, a company will hire a salesperson and they think all their problems are going to be solved overnight. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. But you need to invest in onboarding. You need to invest in your sales technology to be able to build a high performance sales team. And I think this area is completely undervalued. And 9 times out of 10, it's because it's actually, it's very difficult for companies to say, oh, I'm going to change CRM, or even if I don't have one, I'm going to put one in. But if you don't have a CRM and you're not using it, well, my word of advice here is that whatever we do is going to make a huge difference in your sales team effectiveness and performance. So if you're worried about starting it because you've got so much on your plate, don't don't be worried about that, because we're here as a team to support you to be able to do that. And you don't start from scratch. Again, that's why we have the templates and the support and the processes that people can start off fairly quickly and then go, wow, this is cool. You know, I've got my team that's going on. Sorry, my camera keeps switching off for some reason here. And yeah, again, it's about being able to really look at what's happening and what needs to change in your business to be able to move forward effectively.
You were just giving us different camera angles. Don't you just wanted to be seen from all sides. Your left side.
I actually didn't, you know, like talking about technology and some of the challenges that can happen. I mean, I didn't do any of that, but my computer wanted to throw a bit of a curveball. So again, nothing like a bit of a challenge. But appreciate your time, and thank you for those that joined us. If you've got any questions, either reach out or quickly let us know. We're happy to answer any questions. And I understand a lot of people are busy, so there'll be a few people watching this recording as well.
And Jason, how do they get a hold of you?
I'm on LinkedIn quite a lot, and also you can reach me through our Arrow Exec website. And or reach back out through. They'll receive a link to the recording here as well. So,
well, awesome. And I'm at paul.fuller@membrain.com, or if you email us at sales@membrain.com, one of my amazing team will get back to you. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody attended, everybody watched. And until next time, we'll keep shining bright.
Thanks very much.
We'll see you.